First at 4, if you don't have plans to be outside this weekend, change your plans. We have a fabulous February forecast coming up. Hi, Paula.
Hey, Kimberly, get ready. I'm about to introduce you to some robotics rock stars, and they are preparing to get back to the World Championships with the power of being underestimated.
Yeah. Love it, Paula. We'll talk to you in just a bit. Also, President Trump hitting the road and winning a key battle in the U.S. Senate. But at first, emotional testimony tonight. A doctor who used to work at Michigan State University, chilling abuse allegations, next on First at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kimberly Gill, in today for Karen Drew. First at 4, we start with the case against Dr. Larry Nassar, a former sports doctor for Michigan State University and USA Gymnastics. Nassar appeared in court today dressed in a jail uniform. He's currently charged with 3 counts of criminal sexual abuse and will head to trial. In court, he was face-to-face with one of his alleged victims who testified the abuse started when she was just 6 years old.
He was standing in front of me and he had his pants down and he was exposing himself, and I was standing there as well, and he said, if you ever want to see it, just ask.
While this victim was not an athlete, Nassar is being sued by dozens of women and girls who say he sexually assaulted them when they sought treatment. The doctor denies any wrongdoing. He's set to go to trial on these criminal charges next month. As a sex assault investigation continues at Michigan State University, prosecutors have received a 4th warrant request. The Ingham County Prosecutor's Office says that request involves an obstruction of an investigation by a university staff member. The assault claim comes from a female student and involves 3 members of the university's football team currently suspended from team activities. Prosecutors are reviewing the evidence, and to be clear, no one is facing charges at this time. Former Michigan State Representative Brian Banks will not be serving any more jail time after pleading guilty to filing false financial statements. Banks was facing up to 15 years in prison, but previously accepted a plea deal that cut his sentence and forced him to resign from office. Banks was sentenced today to 1 day in jail, which he already served. Now the former state rep says he's weighing his options, but is considering running again for office. A popular Thai restaurant in Detroit faces an uncertain future after being nearly destroyed by a fire. Katoi Restaurant on Michigan Avenue in Corktown caught fire around 6 this morning. Fire crews raced to the restaurant, but the flames gutted the building. Investigators say they believe someone broke into the restaurant and set the building on fire to cover it up. So far, there are no suspects. All right, in today's forecast, there are a lot of people looking forward to this weekend. Andrew Humphrey is in for Ben Bailey. And Andrew, you get to deliver the good news.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We've got sunshine out there. And boy, does it feel great or what? We've got temperatures in the cool 40s and that gorgeous sunshine. 46 right now with winds out of the south. This southerly flow means warm conditions for tomorrow, the entire holiday weekend. Out there right now, we're even seeing 50s, Kimberly. 51 for our friends in Adrian. Over toward Jackson, Lansing, temps in the low 50s as well. 44 at City Airport, 46 at Metro. I know Port Huron, it's chillier there in the 30s, but guess what? That's still above average, and you're seeing at least partly sunny skies. So what are the records to beat this weekend? Well, temps will be well in the 60s. Well, they were at least in 1976, the 1800s, as early as last year with 63 degrees last year. This coming Monday, that's the record high of 63. Tomorrow's record is 62. Can we beat them? Can we tie them? We'll talk about that and your 7-day forecast straight ahead.
Andrew, sounds great. President Donald Trump is hitting the road to energize supporters as he celebrates another victory in the U.S. Senate. The president flew to South Carolina today, where Boeing is rolling out another Dreamliner aircraft. 4 weeks into his presidency, Mr. Trump is taking credit for new jobs and today made mention of the auto industry.
We're seeing them keep jobs at home. Ford, General Motors, Fiat Chrysler, just to name a very, very few. So many more already. They're keeping and bringing thousands of jobs back in our country.
Well, this weekend, the president will spend time at his estate in Palm Beach and hold a rally Saturday in Central Florida. Meanwhile, the White House has not responded to questions about why he's holding that rally or who's paying for it. There's still a lot of action, too, going on in Washington, D.C. Let's get to Devin Skillion for a look at the Trump agenda. Hi, Devin.
Yeah, Kim, the White House says the president is going to sign a new executive order on immigration next week, trying to overcome legal concerns on the first order that stopped immigration from 7, mainly Muslim nations. That order effectively dead at this point due to judicial decisions. But also today, the White House is shooting down reports that it was looking at a plan to mobilize National Guard troops to round up unauthorized immigrants. That report, 100% false, according to the White House. Now, about 2 hours ago, the U.S. Senate did confirm Scott Pruitt as the next head of the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. Democrats fought the nomination bitterly, holding another overnight debate, trying to slow down that process. Pruitt is currently the state attorney general in Oklahoma. In that role, he has sued the EPA 14 times. He has not promised to recuse himself from those pending cases. In fact, Democrats also wanted to see emails he exchanged with gas and oil executives. Pruitt has refused to release those for 2 years. Republicans don't want to wait for those documents, and Pruitt was confirmed on a vote of 52 to 46. The president gets his choice to head the EPA. Now, the president is still searching for someone to replace the National Security Advisor, General Michael Flynn, who abruptly resigned on Monday night. The president's first choice for his replacement has turned down the job. Flynn resigned after revelations that he misled Vice President Mike Pence about a discussion Flynn had with a Russian diplomat. And down the line, the president's choice for the Supreme Court facing his own confirmation test. The Senate Judiciary Committee says the hearings will start for Judge Neil Gorsuch on March 20th. They hope to finish that process by April. Following all of these storylines for you here and on clickondetroit.com. Kim, back to you.
Okay, Devin, we'll talk to you at 5 o'clock. Also, first at 4, we are on top of stories making headlines around the world. And we start with Vice President Mike Pence making his first trip to Europe as the vice president. He boarded a plane this morning heading to Germany. His mission overseas is to reassure allies about America's foreign policy in the new Trump White House. He'll meet with German Chancellor Angela Merkel at the Munich Security Conference and other allies in Brussels. Firefighters in New Zealand say they are winning the battle against some vicious wildfires there. The flames we showed you yesterday have given way to a lot of white smoke as most of the fires have been knocked down. The wildfires burned 11 houses in the city of Christchurch. Rain overnight has also helped fire crews, but so far the cause is still unknown. Well, if anybody out there thinks girls can't rule the world when it comes to robotics, engineering, and science, just look at this video. We found a world championship robotics team, all girls. Our Paula Tutman tells us they're looking to do it again. And Paula, you didn't have to go very far to find these young ladies.
Whoa, no, I did not. How about right down the street? First of all, this is the robot Storm, and she can do a variety of things. She can climb a rope, she can fetch things, she can throw things, she's able to deliver things and spin around. As amazing as she is, the young women who invented her are even more amazing because of what they've gotten done. They are the Mercy Midnight Storm robotics team. But don't let the pink and pastels fool you. These teenage girls are rock stars in the world of engineering and robotics competition. At 17 years old, Ashley is the veteran and a captain. Then there's Candace, the lightning bolt, action-packed Paige, Daisy, the fixer, Diamond, the brand boss, Wendy, electricity-licious, Nuha, Jackie of all trades.
They fit together like this, so it's kind of, and it's perfect.
Denasia, the spark, Megan, the whisperer, Zwena, the brains, and Asha, the muscle. And the star of the show, a lady robot by the name of Storm. A rookie all-girl team last year. They came in as underdogs, underestimated at every turn.
I don't think people thought that as rookies we were a threat. I think they saw us as more like, oh, it's great that they're here, but you know, they're not really going to be able to do anything.
But then when we started like winning at every competition that we went to, the teams were like, oh my gosh, you're really up there. We were like, they were impressed because we were all girls.
But their smarts, cunning, and raw problem-solving capabilities, coupled with teamwork, rocketed them through local competition, regionals or states, and sent them as rookie all-stars to the world competition to compete against students from all over the globe.
I love the experience, just being able to go out and go into these competitions and with this huge community that's so like
hidden. Not a lot of people know about it.
Right now, they are a little more than a month away from their attempt at a repeat this year, taking their robot through her paces, and their biggest hope that once again they will be underestimated by the people competing against them. Okay, so what happens at the competition, they get points for the different tasks that the robot does. Listen, you hear a lot about STEAM and STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, of course, arts thrown in there for STEAM. And every single one of these young women were introduced basically by accident. They were simply exposed to it, and they fell in love, and it is opening, oh, good save, and it's opening doors for them in so many different ways. They have a shot at going back to the world as a second-year team.
That is fantastic, and I know it's very loud in there. I'll just end by saying hopefully they inspire other girls to see that they also can enjoy the science and engineering and math and all those other fantastic things. That's great, Paula. Girl power, way to go. Thank you.
All about exposure.
Yeah. Thanks, Paula. All right, head first at 4. So many new moms have said they're trying to lose their baby weight. Well, now doctors have an explanation as to why some women have trouble. Also ahead, smartphone battle. Major carriers fighting for your business. The latest new offers that could save you and your family some money. But up first, targeting Target. Police arrest a man they say was planning to put bombs on store shelves. How he was caught and the motive behind his alleged plot. But before we go to break, we do have a programming note to tell you about. You can catch the Red Wings as they take on the Pittsburgh Penguins this Sunday at 3 p.m. right here on Local 4. And then catch Local 4 News after the game. Stay with us, folks. More news when we come back.
Is your call coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
It's a new class here at the University of Michigan dedicated to students who get their news from social media. I'm Evrod Casamate. Coming up, we'll show you how this new class is helping students spot so-called fake news.
Okay, Evrod, thank you. A Florida man is under arrest accused of a bizarre bomb plot against the Target retail chain. Investigators say this man, 48-year-old Mark Barnett, was building at least 10 explosive devices and paid another man to place the bombs on store shelves. He was planning to hit stores along the East Coast, but the man he hired went to police instead. Officers say Burnett wanted to drive down the price of Target's stock so he could buy the stock at a lower price. The suspect is already a registered sex offender. He now faces up to 10 years in federal prison. It looks like now is the perfect time to shop around for a new cell phone plan. Sprint is upping its offer to get your business. Starting today, Sprint's $90 plan for 5 lines with unlimited data will also include high-definition video streaming and 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot data. Customers who signed up for the $90 offer this week will receive that upgrade. Sprint is responding to Verizon's unlimited talk, data, and texting for $80 that was announced earlier this week. AT&T is also making new offers, so compare plans and read all the fine print before making a choice. Okay, in good health, women call it baby weight, but it seems being a mom could actually be to blame. A new study by the University of Michigan finds women tended to gain weight more quickly after having a child compared to women without children. Researchers say mothers tend to put their child's needs first and may not exercise or eat as well as they did before parenthood. Habits such as finishing the food on your child's plate may also contribute. Well, the weather won't be an excuse if you need to get outside and burn off some of the cabin fever, because it is going to be fantastic, Andrew.
That's right. Get active, everybody, not only for this evening, but also the entire weekend. And getting warmer, feeling like springtime out there. Beautiful sunshine out there right now. Let's take a look at some of that good news for tomorrow, shall we? Tomorrow's highs, yeah, approaching record territory. Low upper 50s, low 60s. 60 degrees in Flat Rock, upper 50s on this model here in Detroit. I think we'll actually make it close to tying the record of 62 degrees. I think we'll actually tie that record at least. 61 for our friends in Dundee right now, and not right now, as a high temperature tomorrow afternoon. Well into the 50s also in our west zone. South zone, as you know, south of Michigan Avenue, west zone west of 275, middle and upper 50s, maybe a little bit cooler in Clarkston, but still feeling good with temperatures nearly 20 degrees above average. Low 50s also for our friends in Sandusky in our north zone, north of Hall Road. Simply splendid for Saturday. We'll talk about the full weekend forecast in a second. First, beautiful sunshine sunshine out there right now. 46 degrees, a little cool. Might need a jacket. You know what, with the sunshine, probably not. As we get closer to sunset, sure, grab those jackets before heading out. And look how high temperatures are over the next week or so. Over the next 7 days, above average every single day. The average high temperature this time of year is 36. We'll see low 60s for tomorrow. Temperatures a little bit lower for Sunday and President's Day, but in the 50s, still feeling like spring. We'll talk about whether or not we have our next chance of showers over the weekend in just a few minutes. A little bit chillier right now off to our east. Friends on the east side, including Mount Clemens at 39 degrees, but that's still above normal. While it's in the 40s, even 50s, farther west you go. In Jackson, where it's now around 50 or 51, temperature there 21 degrees higher than 24 hours ago, while temperatures right now between 10 and 15 degrees higher than what they were 24 hours ago here in Detroit. Eventually, our winds are going to come out of this direction from the south, and that's going to give a nice boost to our temperatures all weekend long. I mean, look how warm it is. Columbus at 64, 65 in Indianapolis, 66 in Chicago. That's why I think we'll for sure at least tie the record, because all this warmth is spreading in our direction. Look at that, 75 in St. Louis. High pressure overhead later on tonight and into the entire weekend. Nice, stable air, keeping skies mostly sunny for tomorrow. Raindrops all someplace else. Snowflakes, same deal, far to our north. But warm air starts to flow out of the south and southwest during the entire weekend, and that's what we're seeing right now, at least on the western side of the state. So to round things up for tonight, have any evening plans? They are all set. Mother Nature helping you out. Fair skies overhead. The only fly in the ointment, maybe a little patchy fog developing overnight, warmer air over colder ground. We might see low visibility in spots as the winds get a little bit lighter tomorrow. Temperatures around 37 degrees overnight, but we jump from the 30s into the low 60s. A record tying 62 degrees, feeling like spring. Grab the golf clubs for Saturday and for Sunday and for President's Day. Play tennis, softball, whatever you like. 50s on Sunday and Monday, and we're still in the 50s with our next chance of showers, not until next Tuesday. Kimberly?
Hey, Andrew, thanks a bunch. Celebrity baby news is trending today, first at 4. Coming up, it looks like there's a leak in the Clooney family. Somebody is spilling the baby secrets. But up first, shopping shortcut, another way you can shop without leaving your home and without lifting a finger. We're back with trending stories in just a few moments. But first, as we go to break, here's a look at how the markets have closed for today. It looks like it was a pretty good day as the major market indices are all up right now. The Dow is up about 4 points. The NASDAQ is up more than 23 points, and the S&P 500 is up just about 4. We'll be right back.
Mark Coconut.
All right, welcome back, everybody. In today's top trending stories, pretty soon we may never have to go to the store again. Now you can shop from a Google Home device, just like shopping with Amazon's Alexa. Google Home has added the ability to order and purchase items using just your voice from stores including Costco, Target, Whole Foods, and PetSmart. A courier delivers the items the same day you order them. If you want to try it out, Google is making the feature free through April 30th. So how about that? Well, could this blind date turn into a love match? We told you about tennis star Genie Bouchard going on this date with a Missouri college student after losing a Super Bowl bet on Twitter. Well, now several outlets are reporting Bouchard had such a great time, she's willing to go on a second date with this kid. She said her date was a normal fan and a perfect gentleman. And we have a baby update for George Clooney and his wife. You probably heard that they're expecting twins. We reported that right here on Local 4 News at 4. Well, now Clooney's mother and excited grandmother-to-be has told Radar Online the couple is expecting a boy and a girl. She says she has no predictions on names, but they're expecting the babies sometime in June. Still ahead, first at 4, the case of the missing library book is finally solved after 75 years, how it ended, and the fine that certainly added up. We'll be right back.
Her life cut tragically short. Her abusive husband, now a convicted murderer.
I think that people are interested in how the family is surviving and moving forward.
10 years after the loss of Tara Grant, an important message to other victims of domestic abuse.
Abusers rob the person of their power.
And we'll take an inside look back at the investigation that captured the attention of so many. What was really going on behind the scenes?
What viewers probably don't know is that things took a turn. At that point, I knew something wasn't right.
Our special report tonight at 11.
It's the
All right, finally, first at 4. Remember the days when you worried about returning your library books to avoid a fine?
Yeah, you were never late. I'm sure you didn't have to pay anything.
I was late a few times, especially the school ones.
But now you're up to date. But check out this. A Pennsylvania man dodged a big fine after returning a book that was long overdue. Rob Lockman Jr. returned a book to his library 75 years after the due date. He was cleaning out his basement when he found the children's book, Val Rides the Oregon Trail.
His father actually checked the book out on December 2nd, 1941. My goodness, Lockman felt returning the book was the right thing to do. The library waived the fee, which would have been about $550 at 2 cents per day for 75 years. 75 years. That's a long time. My mom wasn't even born. All right.
Must have been a good read.
Yeah, really. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We're back at 5.